You're live. Hello, Gypsy Sea Witch. How are you this blessed evening?
Hi, Gypsy Witch. I think that might be from, what to say.
I don't know.
It's a little odd.
Yeah. I have one question.
Mm.
Greetings, sexy. How are you this blessed day?
Blessing, sexy. How are ya? What's your question?
I'm trying to find it.
Oh, okay.
Belongs to you.
Hi,
How?
Kiki.
Hi. Hi,
How's
Tamara. The question is
it
how to
going?
balance religion and being spiritual. Do you combine the two?
Okay. How do you balance spiritual and religion? How do you combine the two?
Mm-hmm.
By combining the two is just, you know, I would say,
444, Asheo.
Ashe. Ashe, Ashe. The way you can combine the two, I would say, is just knowing that there's a God. You know, knowing that there's a God. Oh, that's a little weird. I would say, religion and spiritual is different. Spirituality, you believe in you believe in something greater. Whereas religion, you're more I don't know if the word compact is the correct word. It's like spirituality, you're free. Religion, I feel it's like you're locked in to to something specific. Whereas, like, if you're, let's say, if you're Catholic, you know, if you're Catholic, um, or Christian, they don't want to hear about the universe. They don't want to hear about Gaia. You know, as much as it say thou shalt not judge, they're very judgmental. So for me, I would just say, just knowing that there's a God. But even black, and black Christianity, from way back when, it was hoodoo. Because when you use hoodoo, they believe, in hoodoo we do use psalms and spell work and things of that nature. So that's it's a bit of a weird answer for me. You probably have a better way of explaining that. Um, I say spirituality is the broad horizon, whereas religion, I just feel you're more locked in.
Okay. Imagine you have a wine glass, okay, and you are a goldfish. That is religion. Then imagine a goldfish in the ocean. It can grow, it can expand, it can see far more than anything. Religion is to confine you with rules. Spirituality is you see God in everybody's religion. You acknowledge everybody's religion. You don't judge their religion because you see love, you see spirituality. God is the God of creating. Okay, some people call God Allah. Okay, some call him Jehovah. Others call him Jah. That is spirituality. You are acknowledging, you're open to learn from each culture and you combined it. Spirituality is healing. Spirituality is loving, not saying religious not, but religious tries to confine you into a box. When you are spiritual, you free. You are led by spirit. Does that make sense to y'all? It's like you're open. You're not critical, you're not judging. You open, you see God in everyone. I hope everyone had a very happy, blessed, Merry Christmas. Um, I like to address something, if you don't
Excuse me.
mind, Akasha.
Okay.
Um, Spiritual bullies, and sometimes not being spiritual bullies. When you are led on this, you're going to be misunderstood. For some people, they're going to say you delulu. That don't make no sense. Okay. On this spiritual journey, you're going to understand when you are no longer in 3D, you become less needy when you are moving out of 3D, so like 5D. Because
Hmm.
4D, you really learning to you. So I'm talking about 5D and higher. You learn not to be needy. You learn to seek within. Okay, you learn that healing, speaking truth, love. Okay, when you are on 5D and higher, you will come across people that do not understand you, and it's okay for you to be misunderstood. They will put their insecurities on you because they're not happy, they're broken, they go through trauma, they hurt. So that's what built bullies are. They project their hurt on you because you are the light and you are getting attention, which they feel like, why are they getting attention? I'm spiritual just like they are. One thing I must tell you, yes, everyone is spiritual, but everyone's not called. True spiritualists, you take the road less traveled. True spiritualists, you find enlightenment in each religion, and you don't make it a religion. What do I mean by this? There's a lot of people, this is a year of spiritual, and please correct me, Akasha, if I'm wrong. A lot of people are into that new age spirituality, and they finding out that they getting psychosis, they getting misunderstood because they feel like wearing a rose quartz is going to make their mate come, their divine being, their divine woman, their divine man coming. They thinking when you wear a rose quartz that everything is going to drop. No, rose quartz is to make you love you. See, they going in the wrong area. They are misinterpreting things. Everybody's not meant to use tarot cards. Everyone is not gifted to do divination in tarot cards. So a lot of people are getting in this and they want to demonize spirituality because they was not called to it. That's why you hear a lot of spiritualists say spirituality is not for the weak. Spirituality means you took the road less traveled. Spirituality is about healing. You are confronting your demons. That's why you're going through the things that you're going through. So you are able to help the next person. So a lot of people are making this spirituality as a trend. And when they find out that it's not working for them, they want to demonize it. They want to all of a sudden say they were called to it. You have to be chosen for this path. So when you're chosen for this path, people feel like because you can read cards, they went to a class to read cards, and all of a sudden you are a healer and you are a master healer and you have that healing ability in you. People take Reiki thinking it's going to happen for them. Then they become bullies when they find out no comparison, no competition. And then they want to bully you to make it feel like you demonize. So you have to understand everybody that's on this journey is not called, but they will say they are. And then when things don't go their way, they bully you. Did I say that correctly, Akasha? You have anything to say?
Um, I definitely get what you're saying, and I understand where you're coming from. Um, like you said, everyone has magic in them. It just is what it is. Everyone has magic in them. The thing is to remember. Do they remember that they are a part? Um, that that they're a part of this universe. Do they remember their gifts? Do they remember their calling? because everyone has a calling. Everyone has a calling. That it just is what it is. Everybody has a calling. It's just what the calling pertains to. Some people have a calling in healing. Some people have a calling in speaking to those who have crossed over. Some people have a calling to help those cross over, you know. Um, Now, when it comes to, I would see people who are more, in my experience, from what I've seen, is people who are spiritual who have chosen, okay, I'm going to take a Reiki class. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Something sparked in them to do it. At the same time, magic, witchcraft, hoodoo, voodoo, santeria, brujeria, it's very publicized. You know, people are selling it. That's what it is. Something that is different. So it's a trend, just like you said. It's very trendy. So people are drawn to that. Why are people drawn to trends? To do something different, to step outside of the box, to become familiar with, to be included. Now, I feel that when it comes to like people wearing rose quartz, I kind of have an idea of what you mean when you say it doesn't work out for them and then they demonize. Um, for me, I see it doesn't work for them, and then I feel it causes a lot of doubt within themselves, not necessarily demonizing and bullying others. Now, I feel the ones that are bullies and the ones that try to attack, n- about 80% of them, I want to say, are the religious tyrants. They like to say, it's the devil work, it's this, it's that, it's, everything else. They like to throw a lot and belittle. Now, I will say I feel that there's more bullying from those that are in the craft per se. For those that, yeah, they probably, they know how to do tarot, oracle, they medium. They probably have, they're psychic, some of them. But I feel that when they watch others, this is where the ego comes from. And I feel this is where comparison comes from. Oh, why does she have so many people following her or him? I feel I'm better than they are. What am I doing wrong? And then I feel it can become a bullying thing. Where now, let's say they go and they watch somebody's live and they ask a question and the person answers them. And it may not be a question that they want to hear, an answer that they want to hear, um, or maybe it's an answer that's not correct at that time because they're not aware that, when you have a reading can come to you for past, present, or future. Not everyone is aware of that. And then they want to attack. So for me, I feel like a bully is just, a bully is a bully. Like you said, when they have shortcomings, they tend to attack. And they attack people to kind of make themselves feel. A bully likes to be in control. Put it that way. Not, usually people who are bullies, there was a point in their life where they were the bullied, you know, and they didn't have control. They lost control. So bullies like control. I think you and I had a conversation earlier. Bullies like to be the center of attention, to take away from their shortcomings, But as far as in spirituality, I feel that when somebody gets excited and they do something and it doesn't work for them, I feel it's more of a disappointment and like a disappointment on themselves. What did I do wrong? Why did I get this? Why isn't this working for me? I think it's more of a slipping into a like a dark space, and when certain things don't work for them, some of them tend to go dark, you know, or they tend to really jump in and seek from someone who's probably not the best for their higher good to try to learn from. The thing is that not everyone is meant to be a teacher. Not everyone is meant to lead. Um, and that's my personal take on it.
Any questions? The
Do,
next
do, do, do.
the next prophet is the CERN, CERN, CERN. Is that how you pronounce it?
Stern. Hmm.
It seemed like ever since that happened with the first eclipse, things have been really hectic.
Excuse me for
And it's
coughing.
like new sicknesses releasing, everything is going crazy. And then, the second eclipse came that was in October. It added on to that. And when the Pope did his thing, he did it probably 3 days prior. Then he did it, and then it was reported. I don't know. I just feel like he did it 3 days prior. It's like people been bugging, panic attacks, sickness, uh, body aches. It's just like people having psychosis, people unaliving their children. I mean, it's just crazy. And it's like something they release. And I remember, and then all of a sudden, oh, my bad. Uh, Not to change the subject, but Spirit told me, whispered in my ear. Um, I predicted that two presidents was going to die before 2025, and just found out Jimmy Carter died. He was 100 years old, so there's one more to come. But and then going back, but things are prophecy is being fulfilled, and I don't know, these drones. And if you like, we can talk about your vision, but you don't have to. But people prepare, because I know y'all can feel it in the air, but war is getting ready to start. And I know y'all been feeling like something's about to pop off. That's another reason why y'all going through, or not all of y'all, some of y'all are going through elevation, ascension symptoms, and y'all getting sick. It's because y'all being prepared for a battle that's about to come. um you want to add on to that?
Just like you said, something was released. Um, and I feel that what was released is causing a lot of hysteria. Um, like you pinpointed, as far as people unaliving their children and things of that nature, that's definitely something that's been happening. It's actually been happening for a while. You know, I just feel that things are maybe more heightened right now, and a lot of things that are public. I actually stopped watching the news because it's more of a controlling thing to control us. The thing is that a lot of people who are asleep, they're waking up now. A lot of people are remembering who they are. A lot of people are really stepping in to their gifts, and to their powers. And the government is in on a lot of it, and I really don't want to sound like a what is the proper I don't want
Conspiracy
to.
theory.
Yes, I don't want to seem like like it's a conspiracy theory, but the government, they don't want us awake. They don't want us to remember. Um, because once everyone is fully awake, we realize that we think that we're free, but we're really not. Earth itself is a prison. And I know it probably sounds absolutely insane to everyone, but Earth is a prison because we're being controlled. And just like Anu said, war is coming. You know, I'm a very um, avid traveler. I jump to different realms, different dimensions. I am actually, I'm a portal. I'm a portal. And a lot of times I've astral projected, and I don't just say, oh, I'm going to go this place. They'll take me and they'll show me. And I was put, I mean, this has been happening to me for years. It's just that it was more so in dreams. Now it's like visions. When I astral project while I'm awake. I'll just close my eyes because I feel it coming and then I'm gone. And they've put me in where it's like I'm walking and I'm looking around and I'm seeing these huge military tanks. I'm seeing bodies. One point when I traveled, it's like the tank, I heard everything and I heard the firing, and I ran and I like ran behind something. And as I'm hiding and I'm looking, I look to my, the right side of me. It's like I see a little kid just like covered in dust, you know. Um, so war is in that the war is the inevitable. It will happen. It's going to happen. Um, but not only are we dealing with war here in the earthly realm, the craziest war that's happening right now is spiritual warfare. Um, and it's not one about good versus evil. Well, I guess it is, a bit of good versus evil, but it's more so our higher selves are fighting for us. Our higher selves are fighting for us to fully awaken. you know and the big test, and a lot of people like to say, oh, I'm aligned with my higher self. No, very, very few are aligned, completely aligned with their higher self. Because when you are truly aligned with your higher self, it's like you're ethereal. It's like everything opens up. You see things completely different. You remember just about everything. There's a gentleman, I think his name is Marco, or something, that I've been watching him for a few years now. I'm not even sure if his name is Marco, but he's Hispanic. um, he remembers everything from a child. He remembers all of his past lives. He remembers Atlantis. You know, um, he is fully aligned with his higher self completely. And I really believe, I strongly believe that is one of the biggest fights to keep us from being completely aligned with our higher selves. Now, that's different from being able to talk to your higher self and to communicate with your higher self. It's a big difference. It's not the same thing. But when you are truly aligned, this is what they don't want, you know? And, I'm not one for, I really don't like getting into politics and things of that nature, but um, for what is about to happen, it's definitely brought on by the government.
Mm.
You know?
I received a
Hold
text
on.
the other
Hmm.
day telling me to tell people to protect myself because the soul is fighting in the spiritual warfare. Um,
Absolutely, Gypsy. That's exactly what I'm saying.
we all
Absolutely.
fighting in spiritual warfare. Honestly, you was fighting in spiritual warfare before you really got into the spiritual thing. You was just thinking your day was off. You just thinking that, man, I'm just having a bad day. What else is going to happen? Before you really got out of 3D, you just thought you was just having a bad day, but you was always in spiritual warfare. You just didn't realize it until you escaped the matrix. If you really notice, Christmas wasn't Christmasing for y'all. It felt different. Y'all kept saying it don't feel like Christmas. That's what happens when you escape out of the matrix. Things not the same to you. A lot of y'all are going through the Mandela effect. When each time it changes, that's a sign that you have in a different timeline. So when you notice something, you like, no, I remember such and such and such and such. And people is like, no, if always. That's how you know you on a different timeline than them. But you have to walk in the spirit, pray in the spirit, talk in the spirit. Now that you escape 3D, you starting to understand it more. And to piggyback off what Akasha said about the higher self, when I tell you to talk to your higher self, like when getting to know your inner child is like your lower self. And what it is, your lower self communicates with your higher self. So when you really, because if you really was to talk to your higher self, you wouldn't understand. Y'all would communicate totally different because your higher self It's way, it's like a guru.
Different
So
frequency.
yeah, so when you actually are in tune with your higher self, that's when you start talking and people's like, girl, what are you talking about? That don't make no sense. Or, things like that. This is how you know. This is why when you are highly in tune, things fall off. You don't care about the Christmas no more. You don't care about this. You start losing interest in the materialistic things. You start being grateful. You start being humble. So you're always in spiritual. It's just that now you're starting to get in tune with it. You starting to feel it. Huh? I remember a dream, which now I believe was astral traveling. I was fighting in the astros. When you don't remember your dreams, you are working. When you remember your dreams, it's a message. You're always, like I said, you're always doing something. Some of y'all could be intercessors. Some of y'all can be grid workers. Some of y'all could be dream walkers. Some of y'all, or some people call it shadow walkers. You're always doing it. That's why they said when you dream, it's a message. It's it's two sides to this. Sometimes you cannot dream. It's because someone is stealing your dreams and you have a blockage. That's when you will go to a person that is an energetic healer like Akasha or myself. Another thing is it wasn't meant for you because it wasn't a message. You were busy working. So that's two scenarios. It's a good and a bad. So I had to say both. But when you got a dream, when you're dreaming, it's a message. Okay, whether you daydreaming or night dreaming, it's a message. How can I overcome my ego and connect with my higher self? Your This right here has to die. Spirit is not going to tell you something harsh. I mean, they can be straightforward, but what I mean harsh, they're not going to tell you to tell your sister you stupid. I can't stand you because she's a seer and you're not. That's ego. Seer would tell you, I mean, not seer, spirit wouldn't tell you to be jealous of your enemies because they made it. Even though it hurts you, you would say, I'm happy for you. Because that's what I'm talking about. I know it's hard, trust me. And it takes a lot of things. But once again, you have to be happy for those that did you wrong. Also, I didn't say invite them back into your life. I'm not saying that, but it's like forgive and forget. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. And then you move on because words are very powerful. Words don't joke. I don't know how to put this. Like
Yeah. Your ego is like the idea of who you are. Um, your ego is in spirituality. The ego is the idea of who you are, and you tend to be so. I can't. It's like I'm saying egotistical, but you tend to be so arrogant that hmm, it's like you
it's
see you
complicated.
see yourself. Well, you see yourself on a different level. So much you feel you are the best of the best. Which, don't get me wrong, that's good for your for your esteem. But when your ego is that way, you tend to be blind to a lot of things. You're easily influenced by you're easily influenced by lower vibrations, by lower entities. You know, um, they say you should completely drop your ego, but truth is, for me, I feel you do need some sort of ego to get to where it is that you need to be. It's just that you want to make sure that you are of sound mind. Because your ego can, your ego can make you feel, your ego can mess with you to the point, okay, put it this way, your ego can mess with you to the point where it's easy for you to slip and your monkey mind take over. I feel people that have this strong bullying ego, let's say, about them, they're blind. They're easier to slip from reality. They're easier to give wrong information. They're they don't take, they don't take in information correctly. So for you, how I feel you can overcome your ego and connect with your higher self, your ego will make you feel superior. Your ego makes, people when they have certain egos, they feel superior above others. Whereas once you realize that we are all here for a special purpose, when you realize that everyone is unique in their own ways, I feel at that point, when you truly realize that everyone is special in their own way, when you realize it's not about you, it's the bigger picture, when you realize that we are all part of something extremely grand, extremely special, I feel that is when it is easier for you to connect with your higher self.
Didn't nobody
Acceptance of who you are. Pardon?
No, I said, didn't nobody come here to see you, Otis? No, that's
Oh, you're so funny. um do you did that resonate with you, Mystic Blue? Maybe resonate is not the correct word, but did you get a bit of a better understanding with that?
or it's like you said something out of character. And because you have a feeling, everyone has that intuition. What you said hurt that person, that it wasn't called for. But your pride and ego said, I don't care. I don't like her anyway. Knowing deep and well, you feel that. That was your ego telling you, F your feelings. She deserved it. When spirit would tell you, you know what, whether you were right or wrong, just go ahead and say, if I offended thee, I apologize if that came out wrong. That's a difference. Ego make you feel like you invincible, that all rules, you can break all rules, any rules don't pertain to you. It's like, you don't, everything. It's either your way or the highway. When spirit, each one teach one. I just
Yeah,
had to add that in
you're
there.
right. Yeah. Each one teach one. Yes, I got it. Okay, great, Mystic Blue. Great.
But it was funny when you said, when it ain't all about you. I just had to say, didn't nobody come and see you, Otis? I have to throw something in there.
Yeah, but that's for those who have seen it, that's the perfect example. That was his ego, you know?
In the Fighting Temptation, if you was wondering what movie, you know.
And
Um.
what? You mean the Five Heartbeats?
Oh yeah.
Fighting Temptation is the one with Beyonce and Cuba Gooding.
It must be meant for me to watch that movie. But thank you. Yeah, the Five Heartbeats. I said Fighting Temptation. Lord.
Does anyone have any questions on what we've discussed thus far? TT's cracking up.
Okay, let me think of something else. Spirit, help me out.
Does anyone else have any questions in the meanwhile while she's convening? I will say that this is we're in a time where it should have been done already, but we're in a serious time where I know everyone needs to protect themselves. You need to protect yourself. You need to protect yourself as far as in shielding yourself, as far as seeds being planted. Be very cautious of what you watch on television. Be very cautious of certain music that you listen to, because they're putting a lot of subliminal messages in. Some things you can't even hear to the like the human ear, you know. So we're at a time where you really need to protect yourselves. Be cautious of who touches your crown. You know, be very cautious of who touches your crown. Stay blessed, you know, stay prayed up, continue to pray, continue to cover yourself, continue to cover your family, continue to cover your children, you know, especially our kids, because
They innocent.
they're the future. They're innocent, but they are the future. They are the ones that are going to continue this walk, you know, this long walk that we have going on. She said, I don't let people touch me. I don't like people. I'm right there with you, Mystic. I can't stand people. um but we have to protect our children's. um you know, we have to protect our souls. That's what it really you know, it boils down to. Protect our souls, protect the souls of our children, of our loved ones, because it's really dark out there, and the things that they are doing and the things that I have seen, the places that I have traveled to and what's to come, is not for the weak. And the best thing that we can do is constantly stay protected. If you are into spirituality, or maybe you're just into, you know, religion, and that's okay. You know, I'm not here to judge. If it is your God that you need to speak with, you know, if it is you know, your ancestors that you need to talk to, you need to keep that line of, you know, that line of communication open, especially to God.
The high vibrational ancestors.
It's very important, especially to God. You know, you have to keep that connection going, you know. So it's important that you constantly, you know, it's important that we pray. And when I say pray, I don't, you know, I'm not here to tell you, you have to pray to God, you have to do this, you have to do this. You know what it is that you need to do as far as that's concerned. But for me, I make sure I pray to God, you know. I make sure that I ask him to please continue to guide me, you know, as well as my ancestors that of course resonate with your highest good. It's important to keep that communication going. If you have altars, it's important to keep your altars clean. It's important to make sure that you have your clean water on your altars, to keep that channel going, to keep that energy strong. If there's ever a time where we really need our spiritual team, the time is now. You know, the time is definitely now. So a lot of us need to make sure we stay grounded. You know, we need to get back, a lot of us need to get back into nature. And I'm not saying you have to go on some long hike and start climbing trees and think. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you need to go take off your shoes. You need to ground. Some people might get skeeved out about standing barefoot. If that's the case, your socks, but ground. You know, ground. Put both hands on a tree when you're grounding. You know, put both hands on your tree. Put your third eye, which I like to call your first eye, you know, put that on the tree. Feel the vibration. You know, when you feel things aren't going right, when you feel chaotic, you know, that's another thing. You know, Newell talked about anxiety at an all high. You know, chaos is at an all high as well. You know, go out there, ground, connect. It's important
No,
for us to stay connected. Pardon me?
no. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's talking to Pup Pup. It's important that you stay
No,
connected.
I'll be
You
back.
know, that's fine. It's important that you stay connected to nature. It's important that you ground.
Okay.
It's important that you constantly keep the communication open with your ancestors, with your spiritual court, with, you know, whether it's your deities, your goddess, your goddesses. All of that is important. You know, I will say another energy that was put out there was an energy of the lack of, the energy of us to be complacent, to be stagnant, the energy for us to not have any energy. I feel that is definitely an all-time high that, I know I really need to get up and I need to go to my altar. I know I need to change the waters. I know I need to journal. I know I need to, whether it's get on my knees and pray, I need to meditate. Um, Something is out there that is making, for some people, it's like, it's making it tiresome. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I won't do it right now. When you're feeling that way, that's when the lower vibrations is trying to, they're putting everything to keep us from our purpose. Put it that way. I'm getting it's getting really long-winded what I'm saying. To narrow it down, to just break it down for you, they are doing everything to keep us away from our purpose and what we're here to do. That's what that's what it is. I kind of already know this answer, but why do I keep dreaming of an ex-employee that has passed on about a few years ago? They treated me bad when I worked with them. Okay, that person that has crossed over and passed away, the person has had their life review. So they're seeing all the things that they've done and they are trying to come to you. And apologize. Not a good majority of them. You have some strong will that just they're not gonna um, really go into the light per se. And when they know that they wronged you, sometimes I'm not tapped into you, but sometimes they just want to come in and they just want to say that they're sorry, that they see what they've done that was wrong. You know, but in my dream, they keep being my best friend.
I keep hearing that.
Now, the best friend part, I'm not too keen on. That part I don't like. So you need to have a boundary, and you need to say you are not welcome. You are not welcome here. You're not welcome to come into my dreams. You are not welcome to communicate with me in no way. I would say you need to put a stop to that. Once you're saying that they're coming to you being your best friend. This has been going on for a year. Um, if it's something like that, then that spirit needs to be casted out. That spirit needs to move on. Or what you can do is protect yourself, Mystic Blue. Protect yourself, whether it's just, your circle, a protected sacred spot in your home. Protect yourself, go into meditation and say, what is it that you want? When you hear what it is and you find out what it is, or if you feel uneasy in any way, this is where you draw draw your line and you tell them that they are not welcome. They are not allowed. She said, I do always. You do what? Ask them what it is that they want.
I think she mean protect herself.
Protect yourself. Okay. But protect yourself and ask that question.
Also, did you cut cords with her? Because
Well,
they
she's saying
parted,
that they were never friends. They never spoke.
but
But
maybe in another lifetime it wasn't broken.
mm,
So I'm picking up. You need to cut cords with that person. When you cut cords with that person, write on a piece of paper, "I forgive you, but I no longer want you around me." And you need to cut cords with that person. Also, you need to talk to Baron Samedi to tell him to keep this person from coming through. He is the gatekeeper of the good days. The good days is the dead. Because there's a certain way you have to talk to Oya. So that's why I said Baron Samedi. But I'm seeing in my mind's eye, you cutting the candle. Hers is black, yours is white, and you're cutting it. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. To piggyback off of Kasha when she said pray. Okay, I fully understand everybody don't pray to the same God that we call because there's many gods. Okay, But to build an intimate relationship with your God, you talk to him like you're talking to your best friend. You talking to them like you would do your father if you had a good relationship with your father. Like Jamie Foxx, I did not know he was a preacher or a pastor, whatever you want to call it. But his comedy, he was up there saying he was calling God and he would say the N word. That's how he talked to God. And it's like when you build up a relationship with God, it gets deeper and deeper. It's very intimate. So when she said talk to God, I just wanted to put that out there. But for some reason I heard in my head, but how do we pray? Okay. If you, especially if you're not religious, and you do not know the Our Father, but that is the way Jesus taught everyone how to pray Our Father. But if you're not religious, or if you are like Muslim or whatever, you say Allah or whatever you want to call Jah, Jehovah, whatever you call him, Elohim, Adonai, whatever you call him. Okay, you have to build an intimate relationship with him. Just tell him exactly, how you feel. I mean, he already know, but just tell him exactly how you feel. Wow, it got quiet.
Well, you just stopped talking.
No, I was talking about in my ear.
Oh.
But
Blessings, Mariha.
everybody, stock up on your water. Um, it's rather be safe than sorry. Especially like beans, rice, canned goods,
Perishables.
perishable, non-perishable,
Non-perishables.
things like that, just in case. The weather is funny. It's like 60 degrees, 40, 50 degrees when it normally is like 17 degrees, ice and snow. It's like things are changing, things is manipulating. I'm also hearing, I have visions, okay? Oklahoma. If you're from Oklahoma, or if anybody that's going to watch the read thing of this, if you're in Oklahoma, I keep seeing tornadoes, real bad tornadoes. I don't know what part of Oklahoma, but I'm here. I keep seeing that. And in Texas, storms brewing, a lot of outages. So get your water. Um, Also, iodine. In case the water go bad and you have to drink water from rivers or something, iodine will help you get them water. So just always safe than sorry in my spirit, because now they in my head again. I mean, in my ear again. Yeah, everyone's in survivor mode. Sort of like, it's funny. Yes, I do go back to the Bible, but they keep showing me Noah. Be prepared because something is brewing and you don't want to get caught slipping. So even though people's like, why? Okay, not all the toilet paper, guys. It seems like when y'all go in panic mode, y'all buy up all the toilet paper. Leave some toilet paper for other people, but just do something, because I don't know. There's a storm brewing, and I don't know. My crow's been active. You can just feel it in the air. So I'm just saying, just prepare yourself. Rather safe than sorry. But just save some toilet paper for other people. Stock up on your candles. Or another thing for candles is crayons. Crayons, you can burn crayons. It won't last long, but it's a little something something. But it's just, I don't know. It's just very dreary. It's like it's in the air. You can feel it, but Oklahoma, Texas, my heart's going out to you. California, it's like Mississippi, Alabama, my heart's going out to you because I feel like it's going to get hit there. I mean, I could be wrong, but it's getting hit there. Yes, Mystic Blue is very quiet. It's the quiet before the storm. It's the peace before the storm. So a lot of y'all are dreaming. Also the cold black moon on December 30th. Remember, I told you this is ego versus ego. This is you versus your shadow self. I have experienced this as well, and it my been having panic attacks, and it's been kind of, whoo. I wouldn't wish that on nobody, but a lot of things that's being resurfaced that I thought I was healed from, and it's being resurfaced. So just let you know, I'm dealing with that too. Healing is all the time. And I had to talk to Akasha about it, um, about something that I was going through. So, it's always healing time. So this cold moon, which is manana tomorrow, is bringing up a lot of stuff. So that's why a lot of y'all are going through these symptoms of hurting, feeling sickly, not hungry, like you can get a cold. It's because of everything's coming to the surface. It
Everything
makes
in the dark is coming to the light.
Where you see that at?
I said that.
Oh, I was like, huh? Mystic Blue said it's very quiet, like you can feel a storm approaching. It makes my anxiety high. Yeah, because I had to ask her and she talked to me. Because, I mean, I was bugging, and I haven't had one in a long time. And I can't stand them little things. But it's because of whatever they released. I can feel it. There was something released. Any more questions, guys? It doesn't even have to be about this topic we're talking about. It can be any type of question. But
Anything.
except tapping in, not a personal where we have to tap in, not a reading question, but like a question about how to do reversal. We can give you tidbit on that, or you know, things like that. I heard a lot of people having stomach issues too. Y'all stomach been bothering y'all. It's a slow one, Mr. Grinch. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
And for a lot of us that our stomachs are hurting us, um, spirit is really making us uncomfortable because there's a lot of things that we're not supposed to be, that we're not supposed to eat. Um, they want us to change our diet. They want our bodies lighter. Also a lot of things that we are eating that it's blocking. It's blocking our pineal gland. It's causing calcification on it. So spirit is making us really uncomfortable, especially with a lot of, if we're buying a lot of outside food, a lot of outside food, a lot of processed foods. They want us to change our diet. So it's kind of like, oh, you don't want to listen, then I'm gonna make you feel, kind of thing. Joe said yes about the stomach. I wanted to ask
I'm looking, Joe.
on that in the book. Okay.
I'm great. Y'all could still ask questions while I'm looking for Joe. It goes. Okay, your stomach, Joe, it has a lot going on. Your small intestines, your large intestines, your gallbladder, uh, everything like that. So when you start having possible contributing factors of your stomach, it's difficulty digesting life and assimilating new information, feeling stuck in a pattern of fear, limitation, worry, guilt, and despair, behaving in a superior, arrogant, and controlling way, thinking that you're better than others, or feeling inferior and the second best. At times, self obsessed and demanding, wanting everything your own way, difficulty expressing yourself, and dealing with rejection, feeling attacked like you've been punched in the stomach. So it's like you have to place your attention on the stomach. Okay. I can't tell you unless you had a Reiki attunement. So I can't tell you to, unless you had it do Reiki on you, but you can go in there and you can call forth Archangel Raphael and imagine a blue or green healing light and touch your stomach. As you envisioning that, you say clear, clear. Okay, that will help you. But there's so many things that goes with your stomach, like your spleen, your bladder, all of it's different. So when you said that, just on there, okay, IBS. Wait a minute. The ringing in my ear. Could you please tell me what that means again? The high pitch is high vibration. The high vibration. Low is low vibration. The right side is your physical, your father's side. Your left side is your maternal side, your spiritual, like your intuition and things like that. So when it's very high pitch, I tune in and I ask them to lower the frequency. So if it's my right side, I want to know what physicality is going on with me, and they would tell me. Okay, your right hand is your giving, your left hand is your receiving. Okay, so it could be having something to do with physical. All right, also there's an angel coming in, or someone on your father's side is high vibrational. The left side is your spiritual. But if you have a low pitch in your ear, either there's a low vibrational energy, or someone's talking about you, or someone is invading your free will, like reading on you or trying to find out what you are, things like that. But you always tell them and remind them that you are human, because sometimes they come through, they never had a human experience, and ask them to lower their frequency and show you in your mind's eye. If they cannot show you in your mind's eyes because everybody cannot see in your mind's eye, ask them to come to you in your dreams or speak through somebody. Always say, your servant is listening. What is it that I need to know? That's my take on it. Akasha, do you want to?
No, I agree with what you're saying.
Okay, Joe, IBS. Let me see if I can find it. If you want to know about this book, it's The Secret Language of Your Body. Okay, so I'm going to look for this for her.
Does anyone else have any questions in the meanwhile?
Oh, I didn't know this. When you have stretch marks, feeling stretched to the limit, don't know how you will cope with the future, feeling uncomfortable in your skin, judging yourself and your body harshly, resistance to change. Interesting. So let's see. Uh, Irritable bowel syndrome for joy. You're unbalanced, you're too serious and controlling, you focus on the negative, you're very judgmental, opinionated, easily irritated, difficulty trusting others, holding on to outdated beliefs and ideas, confusion, loss of directions, not knowing which way to turn. That's the reason why you have IBS. And I said I was going to do another part two to it because I left off on bones. But, child, I needed rest. Because, like I said, this energy had me bugging. Y'all would have thought I was Tyrone Biggins, tweaking. Because I'm telling you. Thanks, you're on point. I will make an appointment with you for the service if you do that. Are you referring to me or to Akasha, Joy? I had a high-pitched ringing in my ears as well today and yesterday. Were they in both ears? That means it's time for you to tune in, Tamara. See, it's time for you to tune in. They want your attention. So meditation. When you spiritual, correct me if I'm wrong, Akasha. If you're spiritual, you need to meditate. First time, you need to especially if you're on work, you need to set your alarm maybe 10 minutes early. And before your feet touch the ground, you need to give thanks and you need to meditate. Cover your ears, Akasha. Or if you forget dropping the kids off at the pool while you
Oh
sitting there,
God.
that's why I said cover your ear. Instead of on the phone, meditate. When you're in the shower, meditate. The water will ground you. Before you turn in for the evening, You need to meditate. Meditation is sitting in silence. Even if you just see colors, even if you just bug and thinking about, oh man, I would love to have a fish sandwich. Okay, you honor that thought, but you meditate. Eventually it gets better. Trust me, it does get better. Okay, I can do it. I can do it, Joe. It doesn't matter. Telling you, meditate. When I don't know something, I was like, okay, I don't understand. You're gonna have to talk to me like I'm a 4 year old. Show me. I mean, what it do? That's why I said, what it do? Show me. I don't understand this. And eventually, no, I just forget about it, and then that's when it hit. It might hit while I'm in the kitchen cooking something to eat or taking pup out. I stand outside and I stand in. Okay, if y'all know the pinnacle, the 5 point star is actually the head, two arms, and a leg. If you stand like this and imagine a circle around you, that's a protection. That's the easiest protection that I can tell you instead of breaking it down. But if you stand up in that stance like this and just imagine a circle around you, you calling forth that protection. All right? You call from the four quarters, east, west, north, south. Call back your power, call back your energy. Say your name, come back to me. Your full government name, please return back to me because we do wander around. So you have to do that. That's also grounding. Standing outside in the cold. High pitch on the right side, that's your paternal, that's your giving side. So something on your father's side or something physically is bothering you or going on. It could be something physically like you might get ready to get sick and they might tell you something, or you might get ready to have a panic attack. They do warn you. Do we pay attention all the time? No, ma'am, no, sir, we don't. They might tell you, tap in, and they might show you your child, and your child under the blanket might be telling you your child's going to get sick. So you need to pay attention. Just say, lower your frequency. I'm listening. But when it's low pitch, that's no bueno.
For me, Mariha, when mine goes off on my right side, I know it's an incentive. For me, that's when I'm ascending. You know, when mine goes off high pitch on my right side, I'm ascending.
Ooh.
And I feel myself ascending. Like I feel the level. I feel myself. It's like I'm in an elevator and I just shoot up. But the high pitch comes on my right side. So it's part of ascending and spiritual growth for me. So like she said, I would sit in silence, I would meditate, and I would ask them to, if I don't know if you hear spirits, I'm not tapped into you, but I would ask them to please show me. But for me, I know what it means for me.
Yeah, everybody's different.
And the craziest thing, one time, um, speaking of, the high pitch, because it happened one time, right? This is a bit of a story. I went with, she was a baby witch actually. Her name was Ariel, and her and I went to this place that I love to go to, where it's a huge body of water, and like you sit under a gazebo. And we went there, and I was teaching her how to like control and direct the wind. So I was showing her how to turn the wind around with her hands, who to call on. We went through this whole little thing. It was a teaching moment. And at one point, Spirit told me to take her hand. And I took her hand, and she felt my energy. She got a bit nauseous, but she took my hand. She felt my energy. And the things that we did that day, which I'm not going to go too much into detail because it'll be long and drawn out, was completely amazing. Now, by the time I got home and I cleansed myself and lay down, I had high pitched ringing in both ears. And Maria, when I tell you the pitch was so loud, it's like it was screeching at one point. I didn't open my eyes, but I felt them around me. And my room was pitch dark. I don't even think I had candles burning, which is really odd for me because I always have my candles going. But with my eyes closed, I can see them over me. Like I saw them over me and looking. I know now I know it was the council, but they were over me and they were looking. Like in my face. I wouldn't open my eyes because it was pitch black, and it was so many at that point. Even though I'm used to seeing spirits and things of that nature, but I knew this was something of a very, very, very high vibration. And like I said, now I know it was the council. But when that ringing went the way that it went, and then I started hearing them talk, but they were talking something like like it was like really techy and loud. And my body, I think it may went up like 6 notches to the point where I was completely off of the bed, um, off of my bed. If anybody stepped in my room, they would have thought, child, I was the exorcist and I was rising up in the, I was rising up off the bed. They would have thought it was something demonic. But from that time is when I've learned when they are, when I'm ascending and when they are giving me downloads. That's when that right, for me, my right ear, very high pitch goes off. It definitely hurts when it happens. It's not often, but when it does, it can, because it's really loud. It's extremely loud. So I know exactly what you mean. You know, when it happens to me, I'm like, okay, here I go, because it's like imagine, for me it's like stepping in an elevator, and instead of going floor by floor, it's like you shoot up. I just shoot up. So that's my experience with my high pitched ringing in my right ear.
See,
But that
mine,
night was both ears. But
mine.
everyone is different.
I had one. I think I was talking to you, and my ear. I said my ears ringing. It wasn't my right, so I closed my eyes, and they showed me Golgotha, which is the hill where Jesus was crucified. And I seen the two crosses that was on the left and right, but they focused on the one in the middle. But he was not on the cross, but it was a white cloth wrapped around the cross with blood stains on it. Um, but that was on my physical side, and I seen that, and that one was very loud, and then it's like the next day, that's when my panic attacks started. So I knew I was going to go through a spiritual elevation, and it was just warning me. I guess I was going to go through another spiritual death, because we always go through several spiritual deaths. We always go through several awakenings. Some is not as strong as others, and some is very strong, but it warned me what was going to happen to me.
Your resurrection.
Yep.
And that was his shroud that you saw on the cross. Yep, I remember.
In my right ear, I was like, whoa, or they'll hurry up and give me a headache right here. I'm like, okay, who's around me? Or I might get like I'm on a seesaw or on a boat. Then I know majority of the time that's Neptune, because that's Neptune or Loki. Those are the only two that really make me seasick. And it's like they want my attention. And then I was like, okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm not getting it. I ain't getting it. And then the next day, all of a sudden, I get a download. And I'm like, oh, that's what they wanted. Sometimes you don't get the message right then and there, because we too focused on it. So when you forget about it, then it'll come in like, aha, that's what they wanted, you
Mhm.
know?
And I will also say that, you know, you can understand certain logistics. Like, some people say, this air is for this and that air is for that, or, your angels or elevation or ascension. I will tell you that spirit will communicate with you the way that it can resonate with you.
Mine's
You
is
know,
always biblical. they always go back to the Bible. Um, and so when
Because that's what you're
yeah,
that is your fascination though. That's your fascination. That's what really, it's easier for us to receive and grasp what we're really into. You're extremely into the Bible, therefore they give you things in biblical signs. That's how they talk to you. And it's insane because you can hear spirits, like I can, but when it comes to something they really need you to really have a strong understanding, and for you, they send you things in biblical pretext, like they'll show you visions. Everything is usually biblical with you, because for you that's your straight understanding. There's no confusion if this is the monkey mind or if there's something else going on with you,
because
because this is what gets to you.
yeah,
Pardon?
because when I know when they give me the Bible, God's not going to confuse me. It's not. It's like He's not a God of confusion. It's like I automatically. That's my discernment coming in. I definitely know. But trust me, Lucifer and them other demons know the Bible too. But they will add on and leave off. I do know the difference. So for
Hmm.
me to know my team, they know they when they use have me do the Bible. That's how I know directly mine's coming from upstairs. Trust
Hmm.
me, because people's like this. Lucifer knows the Bible back and forth. Lucifer know God more than anybody. Once again, there I go talking about the Bible, but I just have to put out there, Lucifer was the first sin that was committed, not Adam and Eve. Lucifer committed the first sin. Everybody want to say Adam and Eve, but Lucifer knows. Lucifer goes to church. So once again, when I ask for break it down to me on a 4-year-old level, they already know, like I said, the Bible. And I know some people don't like me talking about the Bible, but that's the only way I can break it down to you, is because that's the way my spirit team breaks it down on me. And I always get confirmation. But I know when it's false. Trust me, I know, because my discernment kicks in. And if you really, 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 really want to hear from your spiritual team, if you really, really want to get a direct message from God, fasting. It can be from midnight to noon. Fasting. When you fast and you listening to high vibrational music, it doesn't have to be gospel or worship music. It can be like shamanic music, whatever floats your boat. Everything that's in your heart that's negative that you need to address will come to the surface. Everything. So if you want to do a spiritual detox, fast for 3 days in a row. Watch everything. Your enemies come and tempt you. That's how you know, oh, okay. I'm telling you, that's when you get it. You find the truth when you in fasting, because you're disciplined.
I've always heard spirits blah blah blah. Oh my gosh.
That can go either way. They can switch up to America. Sometimes I hear external, and then sometimes I hear internal. Ashe, do spirits choose a way to communicate with us? Yes, ma'am, they do. They can speak through your child. They can speak through a movie. They can speak through a song. They can speak through all types of ways. Yes, ma'am, they can. Yes, Myra, you do. You do. I'm on my second day. And during my second day, I've been really, what I've been hitting, like I said, you never fully heal, but things are coming up to the surface. Before I can go to the next chapter, I cannot have this weighing me down. So it's bringing it up. It is bringing it up. So I've been like a little crybaby because I'm detoxing. So yes, we have 4 more minutes, guys. Is there anything you would like to address? Not always the Bible. Sometimes they give me Disney character movies, because I straight up bring Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, and all that. So sometimes, it's just how they deal with me because I love cartoons. So they'll show me that. But I grew up in church. Is there any Tamara? I don't know. Your I'm picking up three cards. Three cards is how they communicate with you. Um, you can do past, present, future, or you can be vice versa and then write it down. But I'm hearing they speak through you through divination a lot. Well, I want to say thank you again, Akasha. It's been a good one, as always.
You're welcome. We'd love it if you all can send, if you guys would take a minute and write down what you would like to talk about next week. That would be really helpful.
And it's been a pleasure, Miss Hall. How you say her name?
Mariah, yes,
Mariah Hall. It's been a pleasure.
I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, every morning I do three cards on me. Do I like the answer? No, ma'am, no, sir, I don't. I'm like, man. And then once again, this goes with ego and spirit because ego's telling me that's not what it is. Ego tell me what I want that card to say, and then spirit is telling me no, it ain't. So I will use my pendulum, and it will give me another confirmation. I always do things in three. I might ask, Akasha, I said, if you're busy, can I get confirmation? And then she'll tell me something. I'm like, dang on the ego. Spirit said this is what's going to happen. So that's another way you can work on it because another reason why we don't like reading for ourselves is because we don't like the answer. That's another reason why we don't like reading for ourselves because we don't like the answer because it is ego versus spirit. But get a pendulum. um, some of y'all use dowsing rods. Okay, everybody's different, and get confirmation and write it down. Thank you, Lexi. But it's been a pleasure. Um, Pup crying because she wants to come in here. No. Um, but thank you, and I see you next time. I send y'all peace, love, and light.
Thank you all. Blessings. Bye.
Bye.